Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. After the time skip, Zoro appeared with a scar over his right eye, which raised many questions about how he acquired it and whether it serves any purpose beyond being a visual element. This scar even led to speculation that there might be something special about his eye. In today's video, we'll discuss the reason why Zoro ended up with this scar on his eye and the justification Oda had for giving Zoro this eye injury after his training with Mihawk during the time skip. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, Zoro is a very skilled character, being one of the most powerful swordsmen in the world of One Piece, second only to famous swordsmen like Mihawk, Shanks, and other extremely renowned pirates. To reach the same level of skill as these powerful swordsmen, Zoro had to train hard, even asking Mihawk for training in hopes of surpassing him in the future. During this training, Zoro improved his swordsmanship and acquired impressive new skills that allowed him, in the present, to deliver a blow capable of cutting even Kaido, one of the most resilient pirates in the One Piece world. In this training, we saw that in addition to perfecting his swordsmanship, Zoro also gained a new look with a scar over one of his eyes. This gave him an even more impressive appearance, but it somewhat hindered his vision. Oda has already made it clear in a SBS Shitsumon Oboshusuru, I'm taking questions, why Zoro no longer has his right eye. It was meant to make the character's appearance much more interesting and threatening, but is that really the case? After all, Oda also said that Luffy's fruit was not special, and in the end, we discovered that it was the Sun God fruit. A popular theory among One Piece fans is that Zoro's left eye is closed to help him maintain control over his Asura powers. The essence of this theory is that Zoro is possessed by the Asura demon as a result of his use of cursed swords. Although Zoro has shown to use this form in One Piece without opening his eyes post-time skip, the theory still holds. Zoro's left eye has shown several times throughout the series, most prominently during the Water 7 saga. In fact, Zoro not opening his eye could be him successfully controlling the power and wave of the Asura demon, which he couldn't do before. This would explain why the glow in his left eye only appeared when Zoro became very serious in battle. Given that Mihawk was his master, Zoro may have even been instructed by Mihawk to keep the eye closed and not rely on the demon's power. Mihawk sets high standards for Zoro and would probably want to ensure that Zoro surpasses him with his own strength, not Asura's. However, although it may not be as flashy as other theories, the most plausible theory presented by the One Piece community is that of ocular dominance. Ocular dominance is a medical phenomenon in which one eye is used more frequently, has better vision, or can focus better than the other eye. Given Mihawk's epithet Hawkeye, one might assume that the greatest swordsman in the One Piece world is a vision expert. It is entirely possible that Mihawk noticed during their duel and training that Zoro suffers from ocular dominance in his left eye. In other words, the left eye is stronger than the right. As a result, perhaps Mihawk scarred the left eye and instructed Zoro not to open it until his right eye was trained enough. In the end, losing one of his eyes doesn't make much difference since Zoro possesses Kenbunshoku Haki, allowing him to feel everything around him. It works even better than his sight. A good example is Admiral Fujitora. Even without his eyes having cut them out, he uses his Kenbunshoku Haki to sense his surroundings, making him a great swordsman even without vision, moving based on his senses and Haki. So, this cut eye doesn't make any difference in Zoro's life. It's just something to make the character even more interesting, instilling greater fear in his opponents. Everyone knows that the one responsible for giving Zoro the scar on his face was Mihawk during the training that took place during the time skip. However, many do not know the reasons that led Zoro to seek training from his greatest rival. Throughout Zoro's story, we see him constantly training to strengthen himself and improve his mastery with his swords, frequently switching swords and acquiring new techniques as he surpasses his limits. During the Wano arc, he faced one of his most difficult moments and was able to achieve one of his greatest evolutions. He acquired the Enma sword and with it managed to inflict a great scar on Kaido's chest and even defeat King. All this constant evolution of Zoro is due to a single dream: to become the greatest swordsman in the world. Currently, this title belongs to Draculi Mihawk, known as Hawkeye, a swordsman so powerful that even the Seikai Seifu and the Marines recognize his great skill, being a figure feared in the past for being a Marine hunter. He became a Marine hunter again after the creation of the Cross Guild. The level of swordsmanship and Haki that Mihawk possesses is incredible, making it something impossible to surpass or even come close to Mihawk's abilities. Mihawk was the former rival of Shanks, both vied for the title of the world's greatest swordsman. But after Shanks lost his arm to protect Luffy from a sea beast's attack, Mihawk took the title. At the beginning of Zoro's journey with Luffy, his goal of defeating Mihawk was already clear in his mind. He just needed an opportunity to find and confront him to claim the title for himself. Then, at Barati, a great opportunity arose to face Mihawk and try to obtain his title. However, Zoro did not realize the vast skill gap that existed between them. Mihawk was able to break two of Zoro's swords with a small blade and even pierce his chest with that same blade. Upon realizing that the young swordsman before him had great potential, Mihawk decided to spare his life and give him a scar on his body that would make Zoro never forget this confrontation. After defeating Zoro, Mihawk left him lying on the ground, crying, promising his captain that he would never be defeated again and that he would become the greatest swordsman in the world. Since then, Zoro began training to reach the same level as Mihawk. During the Sabaudi Archipelago arc, all the Straw Hats were sent to different places by Kuma's powers. Zoro was sent to Kuraigana Island, Mihawk's home. After exploring the island along with Perona, who conveniently happened to be there, Zoro encountered Mihawk, but this time, he did not intend to confront the world's greatest swordsman. Zoro understood the vast difference in power between them and knew he would easily lose if he tried to confront him again. Moreover, he was shaken by his inability to help his crew defeat Admiral Kizaru or even Kuma. So, Zoro decided to ask Mihawk for training. The world's greatest swordsman agreed to train him, but before they even started, he warned that it would not be easy. However, Zoro already knew that. He wanted to become stronger. Thus, Zoro spent 2 years training with Mihawk, facing various difficulties to learn how to use his sword better in combat, and also learned the fundamental principles of Haki. He learned about Kenbun Shoku Haki and Buso Shoku Haki to further enhance his abilities as a swordsman, allowing him to confront Logia users like Kizaru. His training was quite tough, with Mihawk pushing Zoro to his limits multiple times so that his body could become more resilient, faster, and stronger, exceeding the limits of an ordinary human. The training provided by Mihawk often brought Zoro close to death, exhausting him completely. Still, Zoro could not give up. At the beginning of his training, Zoro had to face various small monkeys that possessed great swordsmanship, and these monkeys forced Zoro to exert himself to defeat them. After beginning to evolve in his training, Mihawk started using a large monkey to confront him. This large monkey, which was much more experienced in swordsmanship, also possessed a white Yoru, similar to Mihawk's but white and lacking the same durability and sharpness as the original Yoru. After learning to use Haki and improving his sword skills, Zoro finally began training directly with Mihawk through various battles, where Mihawk had to hold back to avoid taking Zoro's life. In these confrontations, Mihawk managed to injure Zoro several times, inflicting minor wounds on his body over the 2 years, but none of these injuries initially left a mark or scar on his body. However, at a certain moment during this training, Mihawk cut one of Zoro's eyes, something crucial for a swordsman, as they need to stay alert to their surroundings to find a way to defeat their opponents. But as Mihawk taught Zoro to use Kenbun Shoku Haki, the loss of vision in one eye did not hinder Zoro's performance as a swordsman. Instead, it made him even more aware of his surroundings due to his reduced field of vision. This enhanced his remaining eye, making it sharper and more perceptive to the quick movements of his opponents. This single eye was more than sufficient to see the basics. As we can see, although Zoro's cut eye does not have a significant purpose, like an ocular power or even the possibility that Zoro is just closing it to sharpen his vision, this cut has become very significant for this character. It is a scar made by his greatest rival, one that he will never forget from their 2 years of training together, allowing Zoro to become even stronger so that one day he could defeat him. The scar also gave Zoro a much more threatening and interesting appearance, making the character exude a more imposing and dangerous aura, which matches Zoro's personality perfectly. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.